Hey folks, Quill18 here, bringing you another audio commentary for League of Legends. This time it's a 3v3 with Heimerdinger. I've said it before, and I still believe that it's true. Twisted Treeline really favors a lot of melee characters, especially melee characters with a lot of mobility. Someone like Shen is ideal. Shaco is probably really good for it. That's one of my partners this time around.
Yes, hurry. I have important work to get back to.
We've got a Clairvoyance going now, and Shaco's dropping some Jack-in-a-Box. Now he's leaving. I'm not sure where he's going. But yeah, I want to get in some practice with Heimerdinger. I've actually gotten a couple of requests. I put up a Heimerdinger guide on Leaguecraft, and that was one of the requests. And I've done it a couple of times, so I thought it might be interesting. So what we're doing here is we're not actually grouping very well for initial gank. The other team is, though, but I'm going to take advantage of it by just bombing the heck out of them. Normally I go turrets first in my Heimerdinger build, excuse me, at least on Summoner's Rift, but for these early ganks on Twisted Treeline, I've noticed that a lot of times you get in these sort of stalemates where you can't see the other team. Well, your grenades give you sight, and of course they also do damage, so you can use it to bomb the enemy and actually see them, see where they are, and just harass them and do some damage. Here we're actually trying to bait them out to come to us so that hopefully they'd run into a big pile of Jack-in-the-Boxes. But I don't think they're taking the bait here.
Order, entropy, a never-ending cycle.
No. So I don't think there's going to be an early gank on Twisted Treeline, which is pretty unusual. I'm used to that being the norm. Although
The cosine divided by
a little bit of a focus on Amumu, but I'm sure he's going to get away. Still, at this point, it's I think it's definitely into the harass and lane phase of things.
Very interesting.
Just gonna keep spamming my grenades every time they're up. If we can get a stun out, it'll be quite strong. Actually dropped my rally there. Sort of as a gamble. If the stun had landed, then having the rally there probably would have meant getting a kill on Amumu, especially since Malphite can slow. But it missed, as it's very hard to land that stun. But now I'm level 2, I've got my rockets, that Amumu is still being really aggressive, perhaps much more aggressive than he should be. Although no, he gets away just fine, he's got the heal, he does have his buddy there. Nasus protecting him. We have pinned them against the tower, that's good, although it's not going to really last. I drop another grenade there, and maybe I should have just conserved my mana instead of spammed it out once more. I was sure I could get a hit, which is the reason I did it. But, of course, that close to the tower, that hit wasn't really going to translate to much other than harassing a little tiny bit more. Nasus is going to be dropping his Spirit Fire circles onto my turrets, which certainly hurts them. Although luckily at this low level, it'll take at least 3 or 4 of them to actually kill anything. So I got my second rank of my turrets now. So I go ahead and build a second one right here in the front, partially to harass them, but also to start picking away at their tower. It's possible that it was too early for that sort of thing because they don't have any ability power, they're not going to do much damage, and it would have been better off just putting them in a safe spot so they don't die, since right now I really am mana restricted. Amumu tries to do his bandage grab on my Malphite, but I'm able to get a stun off finally. But Malphite is a little low. We're going to be hard pressed to do anything. So our Shaco is at the top of the map, still fighting, although it looks like we've just missed... No, Mordekaiser's just pulling back. Gotta keep an eye on the top of the map. Map awareness on this on this map is extremely critical because the lanes... It's so small, really. It's like, half or a quarter the size of the regular 5v5 map, so people can switch lanes, come in for a gank all the time. So definitely got to keep an eye on that, especially with Malphite at half health. Oh, Amumu tries to do another grab. And he does his grab, followed by his little AoE melee attack there, and gets a little more damage on Malphite, but still not doing a whole lot. Feeling good about our position, assuming we don't get fooled with a gank here with Mordekaiser. And you can see I checked the bushes with my grenades there, just to make sure that everything was okay. And then follow up with a Clairvoyance by Malphite. I'm going to assume it's Malphite's Clairvoyance. Not entirely sure who on my team has it, but it's probably him. And Clairvoyance is an excellent spell on this map, because again, you need the map awareness. Now, vision wards are fairly cheap, and arguably, so one of the things you can do with Heimer is drop your turrets all over the place to give you sight, but, for good or for wrong, I tend to, use them specifically to push a lane whenever possible. Now, we did get a ping on the dragon spot here. I think Shaco wants to go and do the dragon, or he was letting us know that Mordekaiser may have been doing it. Now, you can see me hesitate here getting items because I'm very comfortable with my 5-on-5 build on Summoner's Rift. I start off with the Mana Crystal, and I rush into Catalyst, Rod of Ages, get the boots, get the Riley's Scepter, and then, the next item depends a little bit on the composition of each team. But on this map, things change a bit. I'm not sure about rushing Rod of Ages because it's a lot of money to build it. So you're going to be at least 10 to 15 minutes into the game before you can get it complete. And on Twisted Treeline, that is most of the game. Now, for those of you who have watched my item video, you know that you get the break-even point on your Rod of Ages after just 2 minutes of owning it. So, with that new knowledge that I have, it may be worthwhile getting the Rod of Ages more consistently. But at this point, I wasn't quite sure, and because of the early game skirmishes, I decided to go with the Doran's Ring, which I think the Doran items are probably the best thing to start on this map because there's so much low-level fighting. Excuse me, guys. It's first thing in the morning, and my throat apparently won't cooperate here. So yeah, I think the Doran items are really good for that. So I went ahead with it with Heimerdinger. Figured a little bit of AP, the little bit of health will help in the early fight, and of course it gives you a little mana regen, which is nice. Normally I take Teleport as one of my summoner abilities, but this map is too small, so I've decided it's definitely not worth it. Here I make a mistake. I wanted to come and help Shaco get the red buff. I'm like, oh crap, no. With the turret down, there's a 50-50 shot that I'm going to get it. In fact, I did. So that was a little bit of a mistake because I don't think I'm the best person to have it. On the other hand, I'm ranged, which means I can be picking away at these people and keeping them slowed. Finally get a first blood. They do a really ill-advised attack here with all three of us here. Malphite blows his ult, knocks Amumu up, and we're easily able to finish it off. Getting the buff does translate to a kill. It would have been nice, I think, Shaco to feed him rather than myself, but I'll take it. And keep leveling up. So, back to the items. So when I went back to town, I wasn't sure what to get. I was having some mana issues, so I thought I'd pick up the Mechie Pennant and maybe build it into something else that's got mana regen after the fact. Probably what I should have been doing is maybe just be a little bit more judicious with my use of spells and save up naturally. I do have the masteries for mana regen. The Doran's Ring, of course, gives me a little bit. And, so maybe it would have been better to pick something to improve my survivability or to improve my AP. I'm not sure. I keep going back and forth on it. And I think what's going to happen a lot on Twisted Treeline, you can see I blow my ult there to keep my item healed, or to keep my turret healed, and just give them a little bit more trouble. So on Twisted Treeline, the items I'm going to get are really going to be very reactive. I'm going to respond to exactly how much gold I have when I go back to town and try to maximize my spending, and also based on what the other team is doing and what my immediate need is. I really find that Twisted Treeline is so short-term. It's not about long-term planning so much. You need to maximize your edge at any given moment, minute to minute. That's part of the reason I think elixirs are so powerful on this map, because you really need to excel at any given moment. Your individual contribution is so critical.
Order, entropy, a never-ending.
So yeah, I think every time I play this map, I'm going to end up with some slightly different setup. I think getting the Mechie Pennant in this case was probably an error. Although now that I've got it, I'm certainly not going to ignore it. And yeah, I guess there is something to be said about just spamming a lot, as opposed to single big hits with AP. It can both work. Here Amumu bandage tosses me, then throws his ult, but I can definitely tank that out. And oh, we almost get him. I did drop my rally there. I'm not sure if there's something else I could have done to ensure the kill. But it does force him back. We're going to get a lot of damage on this tower. I put my turret a little too close to the tower. Although the tower's got some funny AI here. Oh, probably because the turrets were becoming hidden by the grass, so it stopped attacking it. But my turrets are definitely in a bad spot there. I throw a grenade here, partially to harass Nasus. It does get the stun off, which is quite cool. Malphite is able to use his ult to get in there. Yes, we get Nasus down, but I think our Malphite's going to go down here to the tower. Wow, he somehow survives. I did blow my ult to get some slows out on Amumu, and he decides